Hello there. Welcome to She Sells Radio. We are continuing our series on prosperity laws today, and we're going to be talking about something that I used to really not understand and kind of think didn't work. But now that I've used it and applied it in my life, I see how incredibly powerful this is, and I'm super excited to share it with you too. So, okay. I'm laughing because as I record this, I literally just made a salad dressing and I didn't realize the onion smell was following me. And that's kind of what's happening if you're watching the video and my eyes are watering right now. Don't you want to know that? Your podcast host smells a little bit like an onion right now. I need to go wash my hands again. That's just what happens when we're integrating work and family life, right? Moving from onions to prosperity, let's talk about the prosperity law of imaging. This one is so good. And even if you think that you can't visualize, or you think that it doesn't work for you, number one, it works for everyone all the time. I want you to stay open-minded as I share about this, because oftentimes, and this is what I realized in my life, there are little nuances to how we do things that either make or break it for us. I'll put it that way. So the prosperity law of imaging essentially states that whatever image you consistently hold in your mind and emotionalize will become your reality. It will move into form in your life. So I love this for, the sales professionals I work with, for the entrepreneurs I work with, because when we realize that 95 to 98% of our results are based on the images and beliefs that we hold in our subconscious mind, it's like, I want you to start thinking about how much time throughout the day are you visualizing getting the deal that you want? How much time throughout the day are you visualizing seeing your bank account where you want it? How much time throughout the day are you visualizing, happy, ideal clients coming to you, wanting to work with you? Or are you thinking about the lack of that and the opposite of that? Because again, whatever you hold in your mind consistently and emotionalize, it will move into form, whether positive or negative. The subconscious mind is agnostic. It's like soil. It does not matter what you plant in it. It will come up. So this is really powerful because the whole gig here and the game is to move this concept, move this vision that you have from your conscious awareness through the analytical brain, which is the filter in your brain between your conscious and subconscious mind, into the subconscious. Once the subconscious accepts it, its whole job is to go to work making whatever picture and image you hold of yourself in your life your reality in your physical world. So it's kind of like you have this really incredible assistant and their whole job is just to get you whatever it is you think about a lot, but we don't use it the right way. We don't use them the right way. We don't communicate to them well what we want and what we desire. So the key of how do you move something from your analytical brain, from your conscious brain into your subconscious, is through images and emotions. This is it. And whether it's affirmations for you, whether it's visualization for you, whatever it is, it's images and emotions until that starts to feel like your reality, until it feels real. And so we're going to talk today specifically about the power of visualizing and imaging, because the subconscious thinks in pictures. Your subconscious doesn't, like if I say ice cream cone, right? You probably don't see the words ice cream cone. You see a picture of an ice cream cone, which actually sounds kind of good right now. But so that's the way that it thinks. So we've got to learn to speak in the language of the subconscious. And here are a couple tricks and tips that you can use with this prosperity law to help your subconscious accept this idea, this vision that you have for your life faster, more efficiently, more joyfully. So the first one, and this is where I didn't know this for a long time, and I was like, why does visualizing not work for me? You have to see yourself in the picture as if you were participating in it. So if you want a trip to Hawaii, you're not going to see yourself like bird's eye view walking on the beach on the beautiful sand of Hawaii. you're going to feel yourself there walking on the sand, looking out as if you were there. So who are you there with? Who are you seeing around you? But you've got to be in the picture yourself. And I was listening to a lecture by Mike Dooley this morning, and he told this story, and this wasn't the exact model of the car, but it'll get the point across. He was telling the story of a woman who was she was implementing his work, working on visualization. And I think she was talking to him at a seminar. She was like, Mike, like, it doesn't work. It's not working for me. And he was like, well, it's pretty simple. What are you trying to create? And she was like, there's this blue Nissan that I really, really want. And I have been picturing it and imaging it, and it's not working for me. And he was like, well, there's no way it can't work for you if you do it consistently and you do it, the way that I teach. So what's going on? And she was like, no, you don't understand. She said, I've been visualizing this car. Last week, I got rear-ended by a blue Nissan. And he was like, oh, well, that's what's good. You're not seeing yourself in the picture. And she was like, oh, but it goes on from there. She said, not only last week did I get rear-ended by a blue Nissan, today I had to watch my neighbor get in their brand new blue Nissan and drive off to work. And so the moral of the story there is you want to see yourself in the picture, see yourself in the car, not from an outside perspective. So you've got to feel as if it was happening. You got to have the perspective of this is already happening all around me. So that's number one, see yourself in the picture. Number two, and this is something that I found works really well for me in my own visualization practice, is you can kind of feel if you've got resistance to something. So let's say you want to visualize having $100,000 month and you start going down it, but then you feel a lot of resistance of like, that's never happened to me. I don't know how it would happen. Stop. This is how I work it and how I've had the best results is I go farther when when I feel no resistance around it. And there are goals where one day I'll feel a lot of resistance and another day I don't. So I really tap into like, how am I feeling about this today? And I build momentum when it feels good. So if we're experiencing a lot of resistance to an outcome and we try to like push against it and visualize our way through, my experience with that is that you don't make it better, you make it worse. So that's a time to back off. That's a time to just focus on getting recalibrated, get back into that beautiful emotional state. And then from that place, if it feels easy or easier, you can go back to it. Now, this is not to say that there's not going to be a period where you're kind of overcoming the hump of resistance for whatever the goal is, because whatever the goal is, you're probably going to have some resistance around it when you start because you haven't done it yet. And so that's okay. So there's nothing wrong. So your subconscious will almost always tell you, like, how is this going to happen? Or this couldn't happen for me. So there's going to be that initial period of kind of overcoming that. But I would do it in like bite-sized doses. Like, let me see if I can take it a little bit farther today. And if I start to feel a lot of resistance around it, I'm going to back off. I'm going to go back into gratitude, appreciation. And then tomorrow morning, I'll go at it again, right? So really building and milking the momentum of feeling good and backing off of it when you're not feeling so good, which ties in with the third key and tip is to emotionalize it. And again, this is something I didn't know to do for a long time, which is why I thought visualization didn't work, is I would go picture what I wanted, but number one, I wouldn't see myself in the picture. I'd see myself outside of it. And then number two, I never knew to emotionalize it. So again, because the subconscious communicates and thinks in images and emotions, you've got to conjure that emotion that you want, that you think you're going to experience as a result of the thing happening as you're visualizing. And so whatever, let's keep talking about sales today, right? So you've got a big sales goal for the quarter and maybe you've never done it before and you want to start visualizing this and seeing this happening. Well, I want you to think about, how do you feel? when that happens? What does that like truly, what are the emotions that you're going to feel? Is it happiness? Is it pride? Is it gratitude? Is it appreciation? Is it celebration? And as we visualize and see ourselves in the picture, not only do you need to see yourself in the picture, but you also want to emotionalize it and think about what are the emotions that I'm going to feel. And then let me conjure those in my body right now, which you can conjure emotions on demand. You do it all the time with your thoughts. And so practicing that. The fourth and final piece I'm going to teach today, adding in details. This is, again, it goes back to seeing yourself in the picture, making those details as vivid as possible. I was doing a visualization this morning of an upcoming event that we're hosting, which there will be more information coming very soon on the podcast about that. So stay tuned. I'm really excited. But I was doing a visualization this morning about it. And I saw my event planner coming up to greet me at the resort where we're holding it. And I saw the turtleneck sweater that she's wearing. I don't know why she was wearing this sweater in my visualization, but she was. I felt her giving me a big hug. I heard what she was saying to me. I looked around. I saw the name placards on the tables. I saw how everything was laid out. I saw people coming in and team coming in the day before, all working together. It was all these like little details, but things that make it more real. So we want to add in as many details as we can. Have a conversation with someone in your visualization. Go back and forth. Notice, what are you wearing? What are you smelling? How does the air feel? You know, the event that we're holding is in January. So I was feeling where we're holding it, it's going to be really beautiful and like temperate during the day, but kind of chilly at night. So I was feeling like that colder, kind of chilly, crisp air on me and seeing the sights of the mountains around me and like just breathing that in and feeling that. And so adding those details, or if it's a car, we'll go back to the car analogy. Like what is the color of the seats, the leather seats? What does the dash look like? Who's next to you? What are they wearing? What are you talking about? Go in and add the details. In the sales realm, see your client like thanking you, just so appreciating you for the incredible work you're doing. See them excited to be working with you. If you're working in a corporate job, see your sales manager coming up and giving you like a big hug or a high five and congratulating you. See your team around you congratulating you. See your spouse giving you a big hug when you get home. So playing with that and adding those details will make a big difference. So quick recap. Number one, see yourself in the picture. Number two, stop if you start to feel resistance, get back into that beautiful state, and then you can go again from there. Number three, emotionalize it. And number four, add details. So I hope that served you. I'd love to connect with you. I'm at Elyse Archer on all social. Send me a DM. Let me know what spoke to you from this episode. Thank you, as always, for sharing this with your network as well. It really means a lot to me. And I genuinely appreciate you spreading the word about the show and what we're doing. And then head on over to ElyseArcher.com for more details and resources, whether you are a sales professional, an entrepreneur, or a corporate sales leader, and you're looking for support for your team. My team and I would love to help support you. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I will see you on our next episode of She Sells Radio.